Hi everyone, my name's Aaron and I'm your VP support. So it's Mental Health Awareness Day on the 10th of October, and as part of that I'm here to talk about my mental health experiences. As part of the way my manifesto was for me to talk about these things in order to raise the awareness in general across the entire year, I found no better to do this than on Mental Health Awareness Day. So we're going to start off with, I suffer with anxiety and depression. I've suffered with anxiety and depression for quite some time, since A-levels. I started suffering, as I said, during A-levels towards the end of my end of year 12. This ended up leading me to repeat my year 13 when I was battling, trying to take medication as well as going to counselling for various things and that, with no real reason to why it all started. It just happened. Very new to me, and I had very little understanding of it. As the years went by, I started to get more and more sort of confident. In my repeated year of year 13, I started to talk about things. Started to talk about my mental health and the experiences I had and the way I felt during my studies. In year 13, I did my first presentation to my cohort, talking and openly coming out to say that I have anxiety and depression and I struggle. Since then, I came to the University of Surrey. And the University of Surrey, everyone goes, why did I choose it? There are a few reasons, but the main reason was I'm from Guildford and it's close to home. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people always think, why do you want to live so close to home? And the truth is because I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to hack coming to university. It's a stressful place and you're all going to experience a variety of things when you're here. And I wanted to be somewhere close to home. Even though I lived on campus first year, I wanted to make sure that if I couldn't hack it, as I said, I could go home and make sure that I'm back in my own comfort. So first year was amazing and it had my ups and downs. I ended up sort of dropping off my medication a bit there because I felt that was the right thing for me to do. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I should have spoke to my doctors, and I ended up sort of, for lack of a better word, biting me in the ass, and coming around again. And I actually dropped off quite badly in second year. At the same time in second year, I ended up being diagnosed with dyslexia, and that stressed me out quite a lot because at the start of second year, we started to read a few more documentations for my degree. So I studied chemical engineering, and when it came to having this vast amount of reading, it came to the point where I just wasn't able to read, which is really strange because at 21 years old and you start to look at a piece of paper with a load of information on, and then all it is a piece of paper that's blank. That was really hard for me to deal with. And I was unsure of this. And as I said, I ended up being diagnosed with dyslexia. Through the rest of my time at university, I went through bouts with my anxiety and depression, staying on my medication the whole time. But one of the things to be aware of when you start medication is that it's like a personal journey. And your body, with the way your body reacts differently to all sorts of things, foods, drinks, whatever, my body took a while to adapt to it. So when I started going on my medication again, I had a spout of about 2 weeks where I just was unable to concentrate within any form. And I was very disruptive to sort of my course mates and my friends. And it's really horrible because you can't help but feel like you can blame yourself for that. But it's not just you. There is a journey that you're going on. So during the rest of my time at university, I've gone through a variety of stages. I've gone through self-harm. I've cut myself. I've burnt myself. I've punched myself. I went through everything. I had an anxiety attack during an exam, which meant I had to leave and see it. During that, at the end of that, I collapsed in front of my friends due to such a heavy panic attack, unable to breathe, with the sole thought of just, I'm not good enough. Going from there, I've had my suicidal thoughts as well. I remember distinctively, so as I said, I lived on campus for first year, but during my second year, I lived at home and I'd commute. I don't live far, but during that journey, I found many times where I was thinking, wouldn't it just be easier if I drove into a tree? It's really hard to deal with those sort of thoughts and that. And this is partly why I'm doing all this, because I want to talk to everyone about this. Because at the point where I was cutting and burning myself, the hardest thing for me and where I felt most anxious was when I was trying to hide it. When I was trying to make sure none of my course mates, none of my friends saw it, none of my family, my flatmates. When they saw it, I felt worse, so I was trying to hide it. But the truth is, after a while, I felt so anxious of doing that, I ended up letting people see it. And when they questioned and saw it by accident, and I said, oh, yeah, I actually just hurt myself, the reaction I got from them meant that I was able to share it. And when I started sharing these things, I started to take control. And no longer was I feeling anxious about what I'd done. And it started to progress me recovering. So that was predominantly through third and second year. From fourth year was where, coming into my masters, things started to change for me. I started to feel a lot more confident in the way I was. And obviously now I'm your Vice President of Support. And I never would have thought, come first year, when I saw people running in Surrey Decides, that I would have ever been able to do this. The confidence that I thought people have, I was there like they're just in a different league. And it's not true. Like, we're all the same as everyone. And I think that's one of the things that I really want to make clear. And I want to make sure that all you students out there who have, and anyone out there, not just students, who has concerns about their anxiety and depression, and obviously there is a whole world of other mental health issues, but they're the ones I have experience with. If you feel like you're unable to do something, it's not going to be true. You will be able to try. Look where I went for it. I thought, you know what, I probably won't get it, but I'll give it a shot. And now I'm here. I've been a president, I've been a course rep, and now I'm your Vice President of Support. I want to say to everyone that you can ask me any questions at any point in time throughout this year, and if you ever see me around Surrey even after this year. And that's really about it from me. But please don't be afraid to go and talk to someone. Thank you ever so much for listening.